need backup. Put your hands up in the air. Now put your hands up in the air.
Welcome back to Kirill Smashes Acting. I'm Kirill, actor, educator, cat enthusiast. No idea why, but every time I do these videos, my cats are on the other side of the house. Today I'm wearing my very special shirt because we have for you a very special episode. The last video we covered some of my favorite tips on how to get over your nerves for an audition, but I wanted to give you guys more. Well, much more. After I filmed that video, I reached out to other actors, directors, college professors, hell, even some cat enthusiasts, so they could give you their best tips on how to get over your nerves to get your best audition possible. Down in the description below, I'm going to have a timestamp for each one of their videos with their name and a little bit about what they're going to be talking about. That way, you can always come back and find whichever video helped you the most.
It's another audition day. Why did you wear those shoes? Why did you wear that outfit? Why did you choose that monologue? Why did you think that you could sing that song today? Why? Why would you do that? Because you know yourself. Because you are unique and you are special. And yes, other people are going to judge you. Other people are going to compare you. We know that. We know that already. That's part of the job. So let that go. You're still performing. You still love performing. That's why you're auditioning. So instead of thinking about this audition as an audition, think about it as your own personal 90-second to 2-minute, one man, one woman, one person show. You got to choose your costume. You got to choose the character that you presented. You got to do your own makeup. Thank goodness you get to do exactly what you want to do today. How awesome is that? Every audition is another chance to do what you love. So make sure that you are happy with the choices that you made.
Hey there, I'm Jordane Christie, and I'm an actor as well, based in Los Angeles. I had a professor back in New York who taught me an acronym, BATS, B-A-T-S, which stands for Bad Actor Thoughts. And what that is basically the nerves, is the anxiety that you may experience before an audition, where you're judging yourself, where you're taking that time to think, oh, I'm a bad actor, or all those thoughts that are about you, the individual, the actor, and not about your character. So the way to rework that is to focus entirely on your character, because the character that you're bringing to the day is the focus, right? Casting is judging you based upon the character that you're presenting. So you should bring in the character's essence, have the character in mind from the moment that you leave the parking lot and walk into the building. You're thinking about the moment before, what's going on the moment before the scene, what your character may be experiencing the moment before the scene. You're bringing that essence into the room instead of your own thoughts of insecurity.
Whenever I get nervous in an audition, I take a deep breath and I bring all of my focus in on my scene partner. If I'm doing a monologue or I'm doing a scene with a reader, I bring all of my focus in on my partner. What do they want from me? What do I want from them? And I think about my objectives. I play everything out with my objectives in mind, and then I no longer am worried about who else is in the room. Did I just mess up that last line? What is my next line? I don't worry about anything else, and I just bring that focus in on my scene partner and my objectives. There's nothing else to worry about.
Hey, I'm Sara Goeke. Kirill wanted me to talk about something that I do before an audition if I'm nervous, which I'm always nervous. So something that I found that works for me that takes the nerves away is if I focus on some sort of technique issue that I'm working on, something that I as like an artist am trying to improve upon, as opposed to impressing the casting directors, whoever is in there. If I have a new song, like making sure that I get all the acting beats, trying a new transition, wanting to hit the timing right on some detail, or that I'm working on a new character, or if it's something that is for me, then I'm way more likely to relax and have fun than if I'm focused on how it's being received by the casting directors or the directors or the production team or whoever is watching it. And it helps me like get better as an actor, performer, singer, person if I'm actually like going into the room to work and not just to show off or you know, try and be charming or whatever. So yeah, that's something that I do and it usually works.
All right, so when I was in drama school, one of the big things I was told over and over again was do the work before an audition. And me, as an emotionally stunted college kid, I simply took that at face value. You know, do the audition work, do the character work, make sure you go in there with a fully fledged character. But it wasn't until after I left college that I realized that that included doing the work on yourself. That the foundation for every character has to be rooted in you. And if you don't have a strong foundation for dealing with the emotional stresses in your life, that's going to translate and it's going to be harder for you to audition. I struggle from anxiety. I've been medicated for it for many years. I still struggle with it. It's very difficult. But there's inherent value in knowing who you are and what you bring to the table. But it's not easy for everybody to get there. Sometimes it takes years of therapy, like it did with me. Sometimes it takes a traumatic event in your life to sort of trigger that growth in yourself and that realization in yourself. I hope that's not the case for any of you. I hope that it's something that with a little bit of introspection comes easily, because it will translate. Any stress you feel will show up on the day. So you need healthy coping mechanisms to figure out how to deal with it.
So, some things to help with nerves for auditions. Okay, first thing is don't try to calm down. Don't try to calm down. And anyway, who wants a calm actor? Because how many monologues and scenes do you know where everyone is calm? Next is really simple. It's point and name. So look where you are and point at something and say what it is. Hat, chair, ceiling fan, husband on laptop, a chair cushion, candle. See, just like that. Just start naming things. And of course, floor. So the naming thing is about getting your mind into the present moment, really seeing what's around you. Stay with it for a couple of minutes. It works much more than you might think it would. The third thing, and this is a really important thing to practice, is inviting. I'm inviting you to be with me while I'm accepting your invitation to be with you. Invite.
Okay, so I hate auditioning. I always get really, really nervous and I get super in my head even though I am so prepared going into it. So a college professor taught me to think of 3 adjectives when you're going into your audition, and that's all you're thinking about until your moment before your monologue or your moment before your song. And so for me, my adjectives always change, depending on the audition, depending on just like the vibe of the whole thing, or maybe even the show. But one of my adjectives always stays the same, and it's always my 3rd adjective. So I'm a huge Disney fan, and I especially love Moana. So my 3rd adjective is always part of the song You're Welcome from Moana. And it's not the right words. I always sing it in a goofy voice. So here it is. This is always my 3rd adjective. So my first one might be compassionate and dedicated are my first 2 adjectives. And then my 3rd adjective is you're welcome for my hair, my shoes, and my bod. Right? And it's so silly, and I always do it in a silly voice because it helps me remind myself that I can't take myself too seriously, that I'm so ready that I need to just breathe and just go for it and just have fun because I know I do much better work when I'm not so in my head and I'm not so stressed about it.
Hi, Andy here. Before an audition, there's one thing that I always do, and I actually got this several years ago from a friend. and that is you have a phrase that you say right before you go through the door into the audition room. And that phrase is, I am Andy and I am here. It's a phrase that helps settle me, bring me to the present, and remind me that I'm unique. I am Andy and I am here. Before an audition, I am a firm believer in the power pose. So that's basically when you stand up tall, spread your legs out, put your arms out, stick your chest out, put your chin up, and just think really powerful thoughts like, I'm gonna rock this, I am awesome, I'm gonna nail it, whatever powerful things that you wanna think. The power of positive thinking. So just giving yourself that awesome, powerful pose and thinking those thoughts, and then after that, getting in the car and going to the audition. And maybe if there's a space at the audition, like a bathroom or a corner, somewhere where you can be alone for a second, I'll do it there too.
Hi, my name is Staton-Marrero. I'm an actor in New York City. I'm also a stunt performer. I try to focus on breathing in the sense of like making sure I take a deep breath before the audition, like right before I'm gonna start performing, and make sure that I continue to breathe throughout, because that usually gets me back to like a centered, grounded place. And I find that if I'm only focusing on one thing, it's a lot easier to maintain than trying to focus on all the details. Like, take a deep breath, breathe a lot, trust in the work you've already done to prepare.
Hi, Eric Fitzgerald here for Legacy Production. Till this day, I still get nervous performing in general, anywhere. It could be at an audition, it could be on television, it could be on stream, heck, it could be even right here when I'm recording this for you guys. And one of my tips to make sure that I use that nervousness and use that nervous energy is breath control. So when you're speaking and you talk to somebody, you don't always yell at somebody, or you don't always talk lightly to somebody. You control your breath to the action. So if I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to you like a human being, and I'm talking to you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not nervously stammering at you. I'm using my breath and my breath control and my energy for the scene. So use that nervousness that you have built up in you and just push it through using breath control and how you speak to somebody.
Hi, Carol. Hello, viewers. My favorite tip for fighting nerves during an audition would be to secretly have a joke or a silly thought in the back of your head, in your back pocket, or you can even find like something in the room to make you laugh to yourself, which will help you get out of your head and back into your body and back into your scene or your monologue.
Hi everybody, my name is Anna. I'm a theater actor, and my #1 technique I use to calm my nerves before an audition is to pretend I'm not nervous about the audition. And I know that sounds crazy, but I try to think thoughts and move my body in a way that I would if I wasn't nervous, and eventually I trick myself into thinking I'm not. Of course, this only works if you're fully prepared, and that means you need to practice and practice and practice before you go up for this. And then you really have nothing to be nervous about. You're psyching yourself out by being nervous. So if I just pretend that I'm not nervous, I can trick myself into thinking I'm really not.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda, and I want to share with you some things that helped me gain control over my nerves. You know, I know when I go into a high stress situation, I tend to hold my breath, and I feel like my nerves are just driving the train, you know, and I'm hanging on for dear life, and I'm not in control, and that's not fun. You know, you want to be the one driving the train. Something that was really profound for me was when a professor told me that the nerves, the surges of energy and electricity that you feel when you're nervous are really the same chemical reaction that your body feels when you're excited. So why would you in one situation define it as excitement and, you know, ultimately seek it, and in another situation define it as nervousness and dread it? I would rather say, oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to share myself or my art or what I created or what I prepared. I'm excited to connect with these people, and I'm excited to be the answer to their problem. Or if it's a job interview, they need an employee, or they need if it's an audition, they need to fill the role, and I'm excited to show them why I'm the best person for that.
I think auditioning is stressful for everyone, no matter how long they've done it. And I've been doing it for over 20 years and I still get really nervous. So, and there are all kinds of tips for how you might be able to overcome this. For me, as an introverted actor, it is really important that I find some moment of quiet. Even before I go into the room, even just a few moments to ground myself, to lower my breathing and steady it, to make sure that I'm being conscious enough to pull my shoulders away from my ears so I'm not all tense up, and relax my neck. And these are simple things, but finding even a couple of minutes in a side hallway, or locking myself in the restroom a couple minutes longer, or to find an empty corner somewhere where I can have quiet is really important to me. Auditioning rooms can be very loud, distracting spaces, and I think those moments of quiet for centering, for calming your breath, for relaxing your shoulders and your neck can really do me a world of good. I know there are a lot of other introverted actors out there, and I think sometimes we feel some pressure in the auditioning space, especially to socialize, to be friendly, to make sure that we're, seen by everyone. And sometimes actors even kind of loudly share their music, or share their lines, or practice out loud. I'm not like that. I need some quiet time to myself. So it's always important for me to find a little space where I can gather my own thoughts and slow my breathing and get focused on why I'm there. So I know it's nerve-wracking, but even a couple of minutes can help. So go out there and break a leg.
Hope you enjoyed that video. Hit the like button, subscribe, maybe share this video with somebody who might land a job because of it. This is Scary Spice, and my dog walking behind me. She was one of the Spice Girls litter that was born in my guest bedroom and will be ready for adoption in just a couple of weeks. She is so sweet. For now, say goodnight, Scary. Good night, Scary.